What's up, everybody? Young-peirce here, and welcome to my movie review of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, just to let bit of a heads up, there are going to be big spoilers in this review because there are some things as a DC fan I need to get off my chest because there are a lot of disappointing things in this movie. There are some great parts, but they don't outweigh the bad parts, unfortunately. Like, the movie starts off strong. It has, you know, Batman doing his thing, Superman doing his thing. It shows the point of view from Batman after the whole fight with General Zod sort of thing. It comes out strong there. And then it very quickly devolves when everybody's trying to blame Superman for everything that goes wrong in the world. They're like, okay, this happened over here. Well, he was around there. He could have done something better to stop it. Oh, this happened, but like, should he have this authority? All this sort of stuff. And they paint him out to be such a messiah. Like, just God complex after God complex. Like, you see him in so many poses, like, as a cross, like, flying and stuff. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but that felt really weird. Like, obviously, Ben Affleck's Batman was good. I was really worried when Ben Affleck was put as Batman. I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be a Daredevil thing again. But he actually plays Batman really well. The only problem I have with Ben Affleck as Batman is Batman kills a lot of people in this movie. That doesn't happen in the comics. Yes, okay, back in like the 50s versions, yes, he may have killed people. Back in the Jack Nicholson Joker era of Batman, yes, he blew a guy up. But mainly in the main continuity, he doesn't kill people, and he killed at least about 18 to 19 people. Dylan, like my brother and I were watching this, and we just thought, okay, that guy's definitely dead. That guy's dead. And it's not thinking, oh, he's bumped into that guy with the Batmobile, maybe he might have died from that, or he's hit that guy really hard or thrown him down a staircase, he's probably dead. It's like, no, he shot them with a Gatling gun. He's got a giant freaking minigun on the Batmobile and just shoots through a bunch of bad guys' cars. Then the cars explode. There is no way those people walked out of it safely. He kills a guy that has a flamethrower on his back. He shoots the backpack that's full of ignition and blows the guy up. There is no maybe this guy died. Maybe he survived. That dude's dead and in pieces. Like, so that was the only real problem I had with Batman. Otherwise, Ben Affleck did a good job. Now, my main problem with the movie is the story is just all over the place. Like, the whole thing is, first we're doing this with Batman, then we're doing this with Superman, then we've got tiny little pieces of Wonder Woman in there, then we've got all this other stuff, and it feels like they didn't know which direction they wanted to go with the movie. It felt like they were like, okay, we're making a Batman movie today, oh, now we're making a Superman movie, and it felt very, very weird and all over the place. Like, if you could take out all the Superman scenes and you could make a Batman movie out of this, you really could. You could take out all the Batman scenes and you can make a Superman movie out of this. Like, they wouldn't be long movies, but they'd be movies, and it shouldn't be like that. You've got to have a set story to go through, and some of these things don't tie together. It feels really weird to watch these pieces. And Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor as well, I have no idea what direction he was going with. Like, and it might have been directing's fault, not his, I have no idea. But at one point, he's the quirky, like, child genius sort of guy, young genius, and then he goes full on psychotic. Then he goes full on God complex. Then he goes full on normal person again. Then he goes into a really crazy God complex sort of thing by the end. And he's just bouncing around the place. And every scene I saw him in, like, I wanted to punch him in the face. I don't know if that's the way they were going for, because he is the villain. They might have wanted you to hate the villain. But he was just so over the place. I had no idea what to feel with his performance. It was a bit of a letdown in my own opinion. However, the biggest disappointment was the actual Batman vs Superman fight. It lasted a total of 9 minutes. Of a 2 hour and 30-minute movie, the bit that was in the title lasted 9 to 10 minutes. Don't get me wrong, great fight. I liked the way they actually made it make sense. Like, Batman set up a shitload of traps beforehand. He planned everything out to a T. He even planned where they would end up at the end of the fight, halfway across the dock area that they were in. Starts off in one area, sets traps through all the other buildings, knowing and predicting where Superman's going to fight him. And Superman keeps getting caught in all these traps, and yes, he does use kryptonite, and I'm okay with that, because you know what? How else is he going to win? Superman's like weak against magic and kryptonite. Batman can't do magic, so he's got to use something. So he uses kryptonite gas to weaken Superman, and that's fine. I was a big fan of The Dark Knight Returns, and in that, yes, he used the same methods. He set up a bunch of traps, he used a super suit, and he used kryptonite gas. So I did like how that was sort of an homage, or whatever you want to call it, to Dark Knight Returns. That was really good. Like, there's a part, like, you'll see it in like one of the trailers, where he's just been weakened by the first batch of kryptonite gas. He goes to punch Batman, and he's like, oh shit, I don't have my super strengths anymore. And all the gas has done is seeped his strength. Like, he's just a normal person after that, and he gets his ass kicked by Batman. Like, he has no real fighting skill at this point. Like, in the comics, obviously, he knows a bunch of Kryptonian martial arts, but at this point, he doesn't, and he gets his butt kicked, and it's really good. The gas wears off, Batman starts getting his butt kicked again, he shoots him in another bar of gas, and then, like, it carries and weighs over, like, tables turn. And then the most annoying thing happens. Batman stops fighting Superman because he finds out they have the same mother's name. Like, by the way, the whole reason that they're fighting is because Batman steals kryptonite from Lex Luthor, and Luthor kidnaps Martha Kent and says, Superman, if you don't kill Batman and get back my property that he stole, I'm going to kill your mum. So Batman's about to actually kill Superman with a Kryptonian spear, like with a kryptonite spear, and then Superman's like, they're going to kill Martha. And he's like, what? What did you say? How do you know that name? And Lois Lane runs in and goes, it's his mother's name. And all of a sudden, Batman just drops the spear, and he's like, oh, shit, dude, sorry, we have the same mum's name. Like, we're friends now. Picks him, like, helps him up, and he's like, I will find your mother. It's like, Lex is doing something over at this part of town. You need to go over there. I'll save her. Martha won't die tonight, I promise. And then goes into this really cool Batman fight scene. That's fine. But that's how they end the Batman fight. Like, obviously they don't want a clear winner, but the way they do it is ridiculous. It's, we have the same mum's name. Oh yeah, we're cool, bro. And then lifts him up. That made me and so many people in the audience, I could hear people just going, what? Like, it just felt out of place. And so Doomsday obviously gets created from General Zod's corpse as a contingency plan just in case Superman wins the battle against Batman. Because Lex was like, okay, if Batman kills Superman, sweet, one enemy. Like, either way, he was going to win. Whoever killed who was going to win. Like, he'd get his property back from Batman if Superman gave it back to him after killing Batman. If Batman killed Superman, then sweet. Like, Lex wouldn't need the stuff anyway. And then he was like, oh, I'm pretty confident I could take Batman after that. But, so, he makes Doomsday as a contingency plan, and he even names him Doomsday. He's like, oh, you know, this is, like, it's a mixture of Zod's body and Lex Luthor's own DNA. And he creates, like, an abomination using Kryptonian tech and then says, this is going to be your downfall. This is your doomsday. And doomsday comes out. And I looked over at Dylan, who is a massive doomsday fan, and I just saw all the excitement just leave his body the second doomsday came out of his little cocoon. It it looked like a orc from Lord of the Rings. Like, he didn't have any of the bone protrusions. He eventually grows them after he's been like in a fight, but it just looked weird and it looked disappointing. And his powers were apparently, as Wonder Woman says, he seems to be absorbing energy as a power source. So he would go and like explosions, like the kinetic energy from that, or lightning. He would absorb the energy and get stronger from it. And it looked like something out of Dragon Ball Z. Like, he was just exploding with power every couple of fights. Like, they'd have a big fight scene with him, bash him up a bit, they'd all retreat, and then he'd power up. And then they'd bash him up a bit, and then he'd power up. And it was really, really weird. A part I did like is they did copy something else from The Dark Knight Returns, because there's a point where they shoot Superman. So Superman shoots Doomsday into space, and he's fighting him in space, so there's no collateral damage. Because apparently now he understands what collateral damage is. He tries to avoid it, which was a big thing with Man of Steel. I didn't understand why he was cutting through buildings. Now he's more delicate. He doesn't want to destroy the buildings and stuff, so he flies Doomsday into space, and they're fighting, and then the American government is like, oh, we've got two targets up there. One of them's Superman, one of them's the Creature. It's like, what do we do? And so, being like the army, they shoot a nuke at them, and then like a nuke comes up, blows them up. Doomsday falls back down to Earth because he can't fly. He crash lands back on Stryker Island, which I'm pretty sure was a prison island in the comics. So I don't know if like he's just killed all the let all the prisoners free when he's crashed there or something. I don't know. They said it was an uninhabited island. Anyway, so Superman is left floating in space, and he's all the really skinny, like, looks like all the the muscles being sucked out of him. You can see his skeletal features. He's really frail, like masticated or whatever like the word is. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but it's that same image from The Dark Knight Returns where he's just sapped of energy because of the nuke. And so he floats towards the sun, and the sun's energy revitalizes him, and he goes back into the fight. I got nothing wrong with that. It looked good. Then the best part of the movie, which I find weird because it's a movie called Batman vs Superman, the best part of the movie was when Wonder Woman came in. Because Batman is trying to get him back towards this Kryptonian spear that he had thrown away, and he just left it in the street. So he goes back to get Doomsday to come to the weapon instead of bringing the weapon to Doomsday, and Doomsday bats down his plane, and then he's about to kill Batman. He's got that oh shit moment from the trailer. Wonder Woman jumps in the front with her bracelets, like absorbs the blast or something, and then this really cool electric guitar Greek themed rock music plays, and she just kicks Doomsday's ass, and it is really good. It's amazing, and bravo on Gal Gadot for doing a great job with Wonder Woman. I was really worried about her portrayal of it, because she does have a very thick accent, and in this she sort of had a very British posh accent, and I was worried I wouldn't be able to understand a lot of what she said. And it's not her fault for having an accent or whatever, but like, she did a really, really good job of Wonder Woman. I'm actually really excited to see the Wonder Woman movie next year, just from this like 3-minute performance. And she just absolutely kicks Doomsday's ass. And I would have liked to have seen the Wonder Woman movie first, and then this, because I could understand some of the stuff that she's doing. Like, she pulls out the lasso, she pulls out like her sword, chops one of Doomsday's hands off, like cuts his Achilles heel off. She's darting around him doing her fight stuff. It looks amazing. And then obviously Batman and Superman join in. They all start fighting. Well, Batman sort of like sticks to the back, and he's like, yeah, if I get hit by one of this once, I'm dead. So he's sort of like long range artillery sort of attacking Doomsday. But it gets to this point where Superman and Doomsday are evenly matched. They can't hurt each other. And Doomsday sort of starts battling up against Wonder Woman again, and Superman goes and gets the spear. And it has this big moment with Lois Lane where he's like, no, like, don't do it. And he goes, no, I have to do it. This is my world. You're my world. And then takes the spear and somehow flies over, because you shouldn't have his powers when kryptonite is around him, but whatever. Picks up the spear, flies into Doomsday, and stabs Doomsday in the chest. Now, because he's around the kryptonite, Doomsday then grabs one of his bone protrusions and stabs Superman through the chest. Like, right through the heart. And apparently kills Superman. And that's from the comics. That's fine. I have no problem with Superman dying to Doomsday's hand. Sorry, not dying. Healing coma. But Doomsday does kill Superman. And Superman kills Doomsday. Whatever. That's fine. I've got no real problems with it because, you know, he's stabbed him with the spear, he's weakened by the kryptonite, and because he's weakened, Doomsday's able to kill him. That's fine. I understand that. But obviously, it's a Superman vs. Batman movie. Like, Superman has to come back to life at the end. So, like, the very last scene they show is his, because they have a funeral for him, like for Clark Kent and Superman going on at the same time. So obviously, one of the coffins is empty, probably the Superman's. But they show the dirt being put on the coffin, and then at the last scene, you start to hear a faint heartbeat, and then like the dirt on the coffin starts to levitate. So he's obviously alive. So that's fine, because he's going to be in Justice League. I understand that. And that's pretty much what happened in the comics and the cartoons and all that anyway. Doomsday kills him, he comes back to life from a healing coma, whatever. I got no problems with that. Okay? But that's what happens. My main gripe, though, is how they do the explanation for the other Justice League members. The Nightmare Batman scene, which you would have seen in the trailers, where he's dressed in all the desert gear and he's like battling a bunch of parademons, that is a dream. It's a dream sequence. He's having like the worst case scenario sort of dream. And then he wakes up to the Flash, like coming through a portal of lightning in his office, trying to like warn him of a future that's going to happen. He's like, you have to do this. Like, we couldn't really hear him much because the sound of the lightning crackling and all that. But he's reaching for Batman. Something's trying to pull him back from the portal, and he's trying to tell him, it's like, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And there were people snickering in the back because they show close-ups of the Flash, and I cannot remember what I think it's, what's the actor's name that's going to play him? Ezra Miller, I think? Yeah, Ezra Miller. And they show a close-up of him in the Flash costume, and he still has his little pencil-drawn, like, moustache or beard or goatee, whatever. And people were snickering, and I could hear, like, people in the back behind me just going, why does he have a mustache? That looks really weird. Like, you need to shave your mustache, bro. Like, it just looked weird. Like, your movie might be great, but that just looked weird with the mask on. Like, it's not really a gripe, but it just looked weird. And then, like, sort of the Flash gives him his warning, and then gets pulled back through the lightning sort of portal and disappears. That's the Flash's cameo or whatever. The rest of the Justice League, Batman gives Wonder Woman a file that has surveillance footage from LexCorp of a bunch of other metahumans, and they essentially show you the teaser trailer for the other movies. And I just watched this and thought, what the fuck is going on? They show one for the Flash where he stops a robbery in a convenience store when he's going to get a drink, and like just disappears for a second off the camera, reappears, and like lightning is around him and stuff, and then walks away. And it's like, okay, that's the Flash's cameo, whatever. It shows a deep sea probe looking through the ocean, and then Aquaman, like, eyes glowing, apparently his eyes glow, I don't know, comes out of like a dark cave, grabs the drone that's flying, and then stabs it with his trident and shoots off like a rocket through the water. And then Cyborgs was, my god, the worst. It just has like Victor Stone just up on like an operating table, like desk up against the wall, while his dad's like talking about something accident. We couldn't understand what he was talking about. He was talking about an accident, and it's like, if I don't fix this, it's gonna be death. And I'm looking at the body of like Victor Stone, thinking, no, I'm pretty sure he's dead already. He's missing from his rib cage down. No left arm, just a right arm, and half his face is gone. And he's just like, it looks like a corpse just hanging on a wall, like no movement, whatever. And then he brings in this like weird glowing pulsating cube thing, and he's like, this is my last chance to fix him, and like picks it up and puts it onto the table where Cyborg is, and it creates Cyborg. And the whole thing looked, oh my god, so ridiculously CGI'd. It looked like something from a video game. It looked more like a scene from a video game than a movie. And I don't know, I'm really not excited to see the Flash or the Cyborg movies. I might see the Aquaman. The Aquaman looked good. Jason Momoa, awesome scene. Looked great. The Cyborg and the Flash scenes did not look good. They really didn't. And they were basically showing us teaser trailers for the next movie, like I said. So that pissed me off. And then, of course, because they're trying to beat the Avengers, they have this this part at the very end where Batman and Wonder Woman are at Superman's funeral, and as Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince, obviously. But they have this conversation with each other. Like, he's like, "Help me find others like you," and she's like, "Why?" And it's like, they're gonna need to fight. And she goes, "Oh, who are they going to need to fight?" And he's like, "I just have a feeling that something bigger is coming." And obviously it's like hinting towards Darkseid, etc. But I now know why why Ben Affleck has like, I think it's 6 or 8 movies as Batman he's signed on for. I was thinking, oh, they're going to do 8 Batman movies with Ben Affleck? That's going to take like maybe 10 years, and he'll be 60 by that point. I don't know about that. What they're going to do, I guarantee, is they're going to do the Nick Fury-esque scenes from Marvel, where at the very end of every one of the movies that's coming out, Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, him and Wonder Woman, or just him, I don't know, they're going to appear at the very end of the movie and be like, "We need you for a team." And it'll be like, Aquaman is coming back in Justice League, which I just found out is going to be a 2-parter. Like, I don't know, just everything out of this movie just seemed to disappoint me, apart from the Batman vs Superman actual fight, which lasted 9 to 10 minutes, and the Wonder Woman scene. They were the only 2 parts of the movie that I would want to watch again, which means from a 2.5-hour movie, 11 to 13 minutes of it were worth watching. And I don't know if that is able to save it. Like, don't get me wrong, Henry Cavill, great Superman. Gal Gadot, great Wonder Woman. I am so excited to see that movie. If it's got the same feel, etc., it would be great. All her scenes were great. Ben Affleck as Batman, I didn't mind it. As long as he's not around killing people again, that's fine. Like, and I understand he's a much darker, older Batman and stuff, but still, he's straight up murdering people. I don't know about that. But those things were fine, but the movie itself was just everywhere. And as a whole, it suffered because of it. So, I don't know what you guys thought about the movie. Let me know in the comment section below. If I had to give it like a rating out of 10, I'm gonna get hate for it, but I'd probably give it to a 5 or a 6. Like, there was some good scenes, but they didn't carry over into the overall like story of the movie. Like, there were some great Batman scenes, great Superman scenes. they could have been standalone movies, but when they put together, it just doesn't work. It feels like the story is all over the place, much like this review. So yeah, I'm not good at explaining these sorts of things. But let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie. Like I said, really excited for Wonder Woman. Really excited for Aquaman. Flash and Cyborg, I'm really worried about. I'll still go and watch them probably, but I'm worried about it. With Justice League, I am definitely worried about, because there seems like there are too many things going on right now, and I don't know. It's very hard to explain. But fight with Batman and Superman, great. Fight with Doomsday was good, but overall, that feels like it can't really save the movie and make it great. So, I don't know. Let us know your comments, and I will see you guys next time. See ya!